Here we have the solutions for the A Standard Progress Test 4, Unit 4. And the first question says, find the value of 1.1 divided by 0.1 times 1.1 divided by 0.1. Now we have to use order of operations here, and we need to work from left to right. So the first thing I want to start with is this bit here with the 1.1 divided by 1.1. Now we can't divide by a decimal here, so we need to multiply by 10 to get a whole number. And if I multiply this by 10, then I need to multiply this by 10. So what I end up with is 11 divided by 1 times 1.1 divided by 0.1. Now 11 divided by 1 is just 11, and I'm going to be multiplying that by 1.1 divided by 0.1. So let's take a look at this next calculation here. We need to do 11 times by 1.1. Well, if we consider this just as 11 times 11, the answer would be 121. Now I have one number in the decimal position here. So in my answer, I'll need one digit in after the decimal as well. So it'll be 12.1 divided by 0.1. And the same thing again, I can't divide by a decimal, so I need to multiply this bit by 10. And if I'm multiplying that by 10, I need to multiply this by 10. So I'd get 121 divided by 1, which is simply 121. On to question 2, and we have 1 2/3 divided by 2 4/5. Well, we need to convert these to improper fractions. So 1 2/3, well, 1 times 3 is 3, plus a 2 would be 5. So we get 5 over 3 divided by, we've got 2 5s are 10, plus the 4 is 14 over 5. So that equals 5 over 3. We change the division to a multiplication and flip the second fraction. So we get 5 over 14. Now I can't see anything that cancels here. We can't cancel diagonally, and we can't cancel this way either. So we just have to straight multiply, with 5 times 5 being 25 and 3 times 14 being 42. So the final answer, 25 over 42. On to question 3, and we need to round 99.9983 to 2 decimal places. Well, the first thing we need to look at is where's that second decimal place? Well, we've got 2 digits here, so we need to have our line here. We then need to look at this digit and consider, is it 5 or more? Well, yes it is. So that means we have to add 1 to this left-hand side. And if you consider adding 1 to that left-hand side, we've got 9 and 1 is 10, carry the 1. 9 and 1 is 10 again, carry the 1. Stick that decimal in. 9 and 1 is 10, and 9 and 1 is 10. So this rounded to 2dp would be 100 to 2 decimal places. For question 4, we have to write the following in ascending order. So we've got 1.229, and then we have 1 2/5. Now 1 2/5 as a decimal is 1.4. Then we have 1.21, 1.912, and then 112% can be written as 1.12 as a decimal. What I recommend you then do is to add some zeros, so we've got the same number of digits in each column, and this will make it a lot easier to identify the order. Now we have to do this in ascending order, which is smallest to largest, and the smallest number here is this one. So that's the first one. Second, we have this one. Then we have 1.229, then 1.4, and the last one, 1.912. Now I need to write these in order. So we started with this value here, 1.12, which actually came from 112%. So we need to use those values. So 112% is the first one. The second one is 1.21. The third value, 1.229. That's that one done. And then we have 1.4. Now 1.4 came from 1 2/5. So 1 2/5. And the last one, number 5, is 1.912. For the fifth question, we have this calculation here, and obviously we need to use the order of operations. And I'm going to start with 0.7 plus 0.3. Well, 0.7 plus 0.3 is simply 1. So we get 1 cubed in the numerator, and that's divided by 10 times 10 squared. Now, 1 cubed is simply 1. And 10 times 10 squared can be written as 10 cubed. Now 10 cubed is 1000, so there's our answer. It's simply 1 over 1000.